to another episode of the WingNut and RockHead show. This episode, we're going to do a little bit something different and break from the format just because we have a special guest coming on. He is the CEO and president of the CAF headquarters down in Dallas, Texas. His name is Hank Coates. He's going to be filling us in on what's happening with new things that are happening with the wings all around the country and what they're doing. Their new headquarters that they just opened up with a ribbon cutting a couple weeks ago. So in any case, we'll discuss some stuff with him. In the meantime, we have something in front of us right here.
Yes.
We have discovered a new brewery and distillery called Flying Ace Farms.
Flying Ace Farms.
Yep.
They have cool merchandise.
Yeah, and
These
we went
awesome
there.
Glasses,
the first thing she did is just
shop.
Buy stuff. Yeah, just because she's an impulse buyer. Anyway, so we're trying this rum out. This is a. Let me hold this up here. This stuff here. This
is awesome.
It's just called Flying Ace Silver Rum.
We had a flight of all of their distilled.
Yeah, we did a taste
stuff.
test.
Yeah, they have 3 kinds of whiskey. They have regular bourbon, 90 proof bourbon, white whiskey. They've got this awesome rum. And wasn't there one more? No, that was it. It was the 4, right?
No, we got a cheat sheet right here. We looked it up. So they have a regular bourbon, a 90 proof bourbon.
Yeah, I got them all.
White Dog whiskey, silver rum, and then they have all the beers.
Yeah. Oh, and they have this hard seltzer. Oh, so good. And I'm not really a hard seltzer person, but theirs was good.
Anyway, what we're mixing it with is some guava, strawberry, banana. And this is very good. And these are quite strong, and it's early in the morning here, so...
My new summertime drink. Cheers.
So, anyway, Flying Ace Farm is up in Lovettsville, Virginia. For us, it was about a 2-hour drive. And it's just a property and their facilities. It's beautiful. What they did with that place, I highly commend them. They're doing it right. It's not often that you see a place that's so well put together and thought out as far as everything. I mean, they have several buildings on the property. They have live music, a special pavilion for that. And then
you can hear it all over the place.
Yeah,
it's really nice.
It's in the open. It's nestled in the northern Virginia, Loudoun County, where you're hearing a lot of this rumors of nonsense going on right now in the news, but...
it's a great place to go in
It's a
Loudoun County.
great place.
My only complaint is it's too far away.
Well,
it's closer to us.
Well, it looks like we may be going there more than not. We've talked to the management there, and we showed them what we did and do, and they're impressed, and it looks like we may be doing some business with them with some decor. Flying Ace Farm, as you could tell, it is an aviation-themed brewery and distillery where everything is named after, obviously. Here's the brews. Now, we have an Air Boss Pilsner. They have a Punch-Out IPA, Dogfight Pale Ale, and Warbird Wit. All different flavors, and I know there's a couple of others that I'm missing there. I know there's a blackboard. You'll see some pictures that we've inserted that we took.
There's a plane hanging up in the distillery.
There's a Corsair, a 1/3 Corsair that actually flew. I mean, there is somebody flew this thing. It's sitting, hanging actually suspended from the ceiling in their distillery.
Right above the bar, and you can actually go up from like a lookout point, and
Yes.
you can look down all over the distillery.
Yeah, there's a little
and you can see
loft there that you could look over
Yeah.
the whole place, at least in the distillery area. But this Corsair is quite unique, and the staff there is very, very accommodating, very friendly, always happy faces, and they made us very welcome. And we'd like to talk to the rest of the staff there at some point when we come back, as well as the owners, and discuss what the possibilities are about what we can do for them to help cross-promote as what we're doing here. In a way, it's just a perfect fit. We thought this would be, why not? Flying Ace Farm, fighting colors, it just seems.
It's just an awesome place too. Highly recommend it.
Yeah, it's mainly World War II, obviously, just because of the beers and whatnot. But I'm sure they're veteran friendly.
They have food trucks
With oysters.
Yes,
oysters. And all kinds of really,
Yes.
good high-end kind of food, but
the
at a
menu looked
reasonable
delicious,
price too.
too.
Yeah, we wanted to eat, but we already had dinner waiting
Yeah.
for us that I was going to make
Yeah.
later. So anyway, this is Flying Ace Farm. Congratulations on an opening, and we hope to see you soon.
Cheers.
All right. So let's get on with our next guest, Hank Coates, that we talked about, and this is the interview. Enjoy. Welcome to another episode of WingNut and RockHead. We're excited to have with us President and CEO of the Commemorative Air Force, Mr. Hank Coates. So we welcome you, and we hope you have something to tell us regarding what your role is with the CAF down in, I believe, the headquarters, correct? Down in Central Texas,
Dallas.
but you have a lot of new things to. I don't want to get ahead of myself here, but
Sure.
there's some new things that happened this year, and I want you to kind of tell the rest of us what's going on. So please give us some information on your role now, since you've been with the CAF now for, I guess, close to 4 years, and tell us what's been going on within the 4 years and what your plans are for the next, or I should say, the near future.
So it's really a little over 3 years. Feels like 4 or 5 sometimes. This last year obviously was a big challenge with COVID, but the CAF is a little bit different from a lot of the organizations that are really suffering. We have a little bit more diverse revenue resources and incomes, so we've been able to do pretty good. A lot of the money is based at the units. A lot of our units have actually done very well through the COVID crisis and pandemic, and we've been able to help them. As the CEO, now the national headquarters is based in Dallas, Texas. It's actually at Dallas Executive Field. As the CEO of the Commemorative Air Force, we actually, it's similar to a large franchise. And the headquarters organization, the national organization, maintains all the operational requirements. They own the aircraft. They negotiate for aircraft insurance and other types of insurance. We manage the funds. We provide loans to units sometimes when they need it. We provide grants sometimes, going through the general staff or the various museum or flying museum boards. So when units have issues, we had a slip, trip, and fall not too long ago. We had to get the legal team involved. Whenever they have issues with aircraft and need to learn something, need to work through something, then we're there to provide a backstop of support, monetary support, and knowledge. If we can't answer the question, we find out who can. And but last year was really, really challenging in a lot of aspects. This year is looking to be a very, very good year. Right now, most of the units that are out there touring and doing rides early in the season, going to air shows, are seeing a significant uptick in activity. So it's looking like 2021 is going to be a very good year. So far this year, we've had our ribbon cutting for the new National Aviation Education Center, which is about 50,000 square feet of hangar space where Fifi will live with Diamond Lil and 6 other aircraft, T-34 sponsor group, the T-6 Wasp group, and several others, Eichsberg. So it's going to be a home of 6 or 7 different units, but also there's a large component of which is going to be education for young people. If you've been following our Cub program, we've got some high school juniors and seniors over the last year that have taken a 1947 J3 Cub, and they've taken it down. And they're right now getting ready and getting started actually on the building it back up process. They've been putting the wings back together. And then once it's done, the students will get to fly in it. There's a museum aspect to this building, which you'll see most of or a significant portion of our nose art will be on display. The Brigadier General McGee Theater and Don Hines Theater will be up and running with some of the Red Tail movies and things. And there's going to be other items and things to be seen, as well as the aircraft in the hangar. We're working with a lot of education groups. We raised about $14 million to build this facility. About $2 million came from individual members of the CAF, $100 or $200 at a time, $10,000 at a time, people that wanted to participate. None of the money that was used to build this, and it's really important, it's really cool to understand this. None of the money that was used to build this building came from CAF member dues, CAF member money, or anything. It is all coming from local support from foundations, from the city of Dallas through business development agreements, from member contributions, and from some foundation support across the United States. So, and the building is, I think, 99.5% fully funded for the first year and construction. So that's a really big success story to Rosalind Beck and her whole team, and David Oliver and their hard work ethic to get the money raised. So it didn't cost our members anything. We're not, when it's all done, we're not going to have any long-term debt. It's going to be operating in the black, and we'll have a lot of different fun programs with that. This summer, Sun and Fun went off really, really well. We just had a big air show in Shreveport. It went off really, really well. So I'm anticipating this year being another good year. And we'll just have to see how it goes. It's going to be busy as things ramp up. Wings over Houston is on. Wings over Dallas is on. We'll probably.
When is that? So our
the Houston show is I believe the first weekend in October. The Dallas show is the third weekend in October, fourth weekend in October, and then the grand opening for the NAEC will probably be the first or second weekend in November. The hard dates are coming out real soon. We've got it figured out, but we haven't started publicizing it yet. So come here.
Another special guest.
So we haven't started publicizing it yet. Somebody wants to be famous. We haven't started publicizing it yet, but those are just the general dates. This is Loki.
Hey, Loki.
Oh, there you go. Loki, the god of mischief, and he's a piece of work. So
yeah,
we've been buying airplanes.
I'm sorry, Loki. I got a little distracted. Loki named after the mythological bad guy in that Thor series.
Yeah. Loki was a real god. He was the Norse god of mischief, and his middle name is Balima, which is sea monster. So he fulfills all of those. He loves water, and he will get you if you don't watch out. So
very good looking dog.
So yeah, we have a lot of fun things going on. Nancy McGee, with the vice president of the education piece, is doing a lot of stuff, and I'm really enthusiastic about this year. We are buying some airplanes. A lot of organizations are throttling back. We're not. We're throttling forward. We had a decent year last year. Our year this year is actually looking okay, looking pretty good. I had my concerns about this year. We're working on, we just bought a PT-19. We're working on buying a TBM in the next few weeks, and a couple of other airplanes. So we're buying airplanes and growing. And a lot of units are really doing some really cool things to get out there and have these aircraft. And so we're gonna continue to pursue that strategy.
It's awesome. Well, if you keep me in mind when they need paint schemes or artwork on the noses of those airplanes. And as a matter of fact, I wanted to mention too, there's several airplanes that I've done for, the few wings, the CAF wing, the B-25 most recently showed me for the Missouri wing. The Capital Wing Squadron, Capital Squadron up here locally, I guess what's in Culpeper, so it's about 40 minutes from me. TBM Doris May, let's see, B-17 Texas Raiders. And what's the other one? There's, Diamond Lil. Can't forget Diamond Lil.
Yeah.
Speaking
Yeah.
of Diamond Lil, now, is it, the headquarters are going to be where you're located too, the new facility? Is that going to be where Fifi and Diamond Lil going to be based out of?
Yes. So what the future plan is the National Aviation Education Center, and to be exact, it's the Henry B. Tippie National Aviation Education Center, is the first phase of increasing the footprint on the campus. And we're looking at all sorts of things. So we have a restoration hangar and our typical headquarters that anybody that's visited has seen. And then we have the new building. We will be doing and looking at phase 2 and phase 3. We're not really sure. We're looking at bringing in some equipment, maybe having a pavilion with equipment in it, tanks and things like that. We're looking at maybe more of a museum and a meeting center type of event facility. We're looking at a lot of those. We haven't dialed in exactly what we're going to do for phase 2, but suffice it to say, there's a lot of activity. We've got plenty of room here. Dallas has been an excellent partner, and so that is the next phase. Right now, we want to have the grand opening, get a lot of programs in there, and then we'll probably start early next year having more strong discussions on exactly what the next gym is in the national air base or the national campus, with whatever you might want to call it.
Right, to expand your facilities and what you can do with programs there. No, it makes perfect sense. You got to start out small. Can't do it all at once, but no, that's a great start. From what I saw, I did chime in on the dedication event, I guess, or ribbon cutting that you had there. However, there was some, I guess, technical difficulties. It kind of froze, I guess, due to the amount of people that was coming in. So, the spinning wheel kept going on. So I couldn't watch the whole thing, and, I haven't watched it since. I don't know if you could watch it post, but
yeah, you can.
You can. Yeah, it's just, I recognized a few faces. Niels was there too. Obviously, he's a major factor when it comes to the B-29 Fifi, which he had a major hand in getting that thing back up in the air, as well as a lot of other people. But no, I think that's great. I'd like to come down there next time or sometime to come visit. I know the Central Wing. I spoke to somebody over there recently. I think it was Jared, who said he's got a couple things in mind that he may want to have me do something on. So I think it's an ATC or SNJ, and I think maybe the BT-19. He said that they may want to do something with. I know it's a training aircraft, but they all like to name those things, cute little names and whatnot. But nonetheless, so next time I'm in Texas, definitely come down and
absolutely
look you up and see how things are going. All right. So anything else you'd like to add?
There's one thing I'd like to talk about, and that's about the warbird industry in general. Over the last several months, actually the last couple of years, we've had some high profile issues. The CAF has been working very, very hard to standardize training, to standardize pilot training, the maintenance. We've been working really hard to change the culture, not change it, but to improve the culture. A culture of professionalism and doing it right. We just did a big webinar a couple nights ago to kick off the season, talking about, we only, if the airplane's not right, we don't fly. If the pilot's not right, we don't fly. If the weather's not right, we don't fly. And the documentation for the maintenance is critically important. So one of the things that we feel in the CAF is that there's a lot of great operators, warbird operators out there, and you get to meet a lot of them because of your great artwork that you do with them. And there's a lot of really good people out there, but we can all learn from each other. And one of the things that I've been working on here behind the scenes is working with a lot of the bigger groups and trying to come together to come up with some ways and means of facilitating the ability for the CAF to help other people be better and for them to help us too. But this is a little bit selfish on my side. But for example, last year we had a B25 summit in the CAF where we brought several B25 units together, and they all learned from each other, from the maintenance side, from the pilot side. We did some standardization training. We watch every pilot's training record, his hours he flies, every aircraft at the headquarters level. It's very carefully monitored. And all the training that they do is monitored. All the check rides that they do is monitored. And so one of the things that we've been talking about is within the warbird community, having things so that if we host a B25 symposium, for example, not just have CAF B25 guys there, but have anybody else that's operating a B25 so that they can be better too. We can learn from them, they can learn from us, and we can improve the safety and professionalism of the entire community so that we as an industry take care of each other and take care of ourselves. So you're going to see the CAF working towards that in the near future. I think it's critically important. If we know something and we're able to do something and we're not sharing it, then shame on us. And it's the same for other operators. So I know there's a lot of groups out there that are a little bit, it's ours. We want to do it the way we want to do it. And I get it. We're not trying to force anything down anybody's throat. We just want to have the opportunity where everybody can train and we can all do better. So you'll see probably some of that this year. It may be that we organize it this year and it starts next year, but that is some of the discussions that we've been having with a lot of entities to try to raise the level of everybody, and hopefully it'll help us avoid some issues in the future. So
Awesome. Very good. All right. Well, I know that there are a whole bunch of wings and they all have donate buttons, but so where could we, or where would you suggest people, at least for your headquarters, if they want to help sponsor, if they want to help donate, where could they go for that?
So the best thing to do is to go to www.commemorativeairforce.org. www.commemorativeairforce.org. And from there, you can navigate to any of the units. And if you want to support a unit, that's one way. The NAEC has its own entity, and you can get to it from our master webpage. And then the CAF, if you want to support the overall function of the CAF. And like I said, that provides a lot of the legal support. It supports the overall national effort with a lot of the things that we do kind of behind the scenes to support units and support the warbird community. So that's probably the best conduit, is to go there. And then from there, you can navigate to each different unit, to the NAAC and the national side. One thing is that the CAF is very active on social media. Most all of the units have their own Facebook page, and they have the ability to donate and support there, as well as the NAEC. If you just go to search on Facebook, you'll see NAEC. It's on LinkedIn as well. They have all sorts of kids activities that are going on over there, fun stuff. And so that's probably the best way to learn and understand what's going on at the CAF. And then, how would you like to support it? Now, 12 Planes of Christmas will be starting up here real soon. It's a very aggressive social media campaign where people can actually support specific aircraft and specific work on aircraft. And so if airplane is going to need to be repainted, they'll tell the story about how they're going to repaint it, what colors it's going to be, what the history behind those colors are going to be, what the goal and mission of the aircraft is, and then people can support that campaign. It's a very worthwhile opportunity to support aircraft and units, and it's a lot of fun. You'll see people, it's kind of like baseball cards. People are diving in to support different things within the Commemorative Air Force. So it's a lot of fun. So you'll see, we typically do a lot of things like that. This last year we tried a July the 4th United We Fly campaign, where we try to get all the units out there flying or doing something on July the 4th. We're going to try that again. And they don't have to fly. I mean, they can if they want to, but it could be just as simple as a hamburger cook-off or something. And where we get everybody together on social media, and it's just kind of one big watch party among the CAF. So there's always something going on. Between Leah and Rosalind and Nancy and David, they're always cooking up something.
Well, that's great. That's fantastic. Glad to hear that you guys are still very active now, given, the climate that we're in with this COVID virus. But hopefully this thing will end, and we'll see a larger force with the CAF wings out there, with the air show season kicking back up again, albeit a little bit by little. Most likely next year in 22, things should be back to somewhat normal with outdoor activities and air shows. So we look forward to seeing the CAF folks out there, as well as the Warbirds. And Hank, I'd like to thank you once again for joining us. It means a lot to us. We're very honored to have you here as a guest, and fill us in. And please don't be a stranger. We'd like to hear frequent updates. If you have something special you want to let us know, and our viewers know, especially in the Warbird community, feel free, just hit me up one way or another, and we'll have you come back on again.
I got your number, buddy. I'll give you a call.
All right. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Gary. You have a great day.
So there you have it. That was Hank Coates. And as you could see, there's or have heard, there's a lot of stuff going on with the CAF, with their new, headquarters, and they're looking to expand and add new units, more airplanes to their collection, which is now, I think, the second largest air force in the United States. They have, with all the airplanes and the different wings
That's crazy.
in the different states.
That's a fun fact.
That is a one-time fun fact. Now, for next week show, we're going to try to get up to the Capital Squadron, speaking of the CAF, and talk about their TBM, Doris May. And I had a hand in doing the nose art on that, and there's a story behind that. What? Well, not exactly.
Well, sort of.
We'll elaborate on that when we talk about that. Talk about some of the history of the TBM. Will Hill had chimed in and said, "Hey, what's this history behind that particular TBM? Is there any kind of provenance? Did it see any combat? That kind of thing." So we're going to talk to the members up there and look at some history on what that TBM had done. So, and as a matter of fact, it's flying around now at the TBM, some kind of TBM reunion in Urbana, Ohio. And there's another TBM that I painted, She's the Boss. And that's there as well, too. So, unfortunately, we can't be there for that. I'm sure that's pretty exciting. But we also have some news on air shows. We are going to likely attend the Reading Air Show in June, the first weekend in June, which usually falls in D-Day weekend. Mm-hmm. And there's going to be several airplanes that I painted that are going to be there as well.
Can't wait.
So we're going to talk to the owners of them, have sort of a little reunion and do a walk around, and so you guys could see what that's all about. Awesome World War II reenactment show. I mean, it's unbelievable. So we're going to cover that event coming up in 3 weeks. So if the weather's good. Now, if it's going to be a downpour, then...
Oh, that'll make it fun.
Yeah, well, everything will be muddy. But nonetheless, that usually happens in air shows sometimes when you have a 3-day show or more. Okay, so what's next? We're going to be bringing back Dale Snodgrass as a special guest at the end of the month, as I mentioned in the previous episode. What other thing? Oh, one last thing or fun fact? Last fun fact. I failed to mention also when I talked about the origins of nose art in a previous episode, the term nose art came to be, I believe, somewhere around the 50s. It's a modern day term. It wasn't used in World War II. Reason why I know this is because I have, over 8,000 original nose art photographs. I'm talking about the real stuff, not copies or anything like that. I mean, I do have copies, but anyway, that's what I collect due to the nature of my business. So, and a lot of owners of those who took those pictures, wrote inscriptions on the back or descriptions of who's in the photo, what have you, when it was taken, where, that kind of thing. And when they talked about the artwork, it was never mentioned nose art. It was always plain insignia, art, plain art, those kind of terms. And the term nose art is nowhere in any of those period photographs that I have, not one. So that leads me to believe that the name nose art happened after World War II,
Right.
maybe even after Korea. We don't know who the first person who coined that phrase. It most likely may have been, a journalist from a magazine or newspaper writer, reporter, when they were putting out, the press photos in stories.
Does anybody know? Do you have any comments? If you
Yeah,
know,
if we
we
could
would love
find
to
that,
hear it.
yeah, that would be great.
Yeah.
But again, from what I was able to find out, no, there hasn't been any mention of the term nose art in World War II. During the 4 or 5 years we were in that conflict. So, not that it's that important, but
Right.
people ask me, now and then, when did the term nose art come into play? So, and nobody really knows. But now it's everywhere. It's described as, the term or the artwork in itself, just because, artwork is on the nose. Even though there was fuselage art, there's tail art, but most commonly was, the pinups and the artwork on the noses of the planes, hence the term nose art. But anyway, there you have it. If you know something, let us know. We'd appreciate it. That's it for our episode this week, and I'm not sure what we're doing next week. It's going to be
Definitely
interesting.
going to have questions.
We may do a repeat because we will be away next week. We are on a little small vacation with
Yeah, we are.
some friends, so we may just skip this episode, which is, oh well. We'll make it up in the final one for the month with Dale Snodgrass. We'll make sure that will be a humdinger. We're going to have a lot.
We will have a lot of questions when we're back, though.
Oh, yeah.
Whether it be next weekend or the
Yes,
weekend
we
after.
actually do have a question from Mr. Jim Paitis again, but we're putting that off for the time being because that's going to be a lengthy answer to that. So, Jim, apologies, but we'll get back to you. So that's it. We hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time on the WingNut and RockHead show. See ya.